Hello everyone, myself Mr. Y. Kamble, Assistant Professor Mech Engineering Department, Sharon Institute of Technology, College of Engineering and Rao. Today we are going to see the gear trends. This is what unit number 3rd we are going to discuss the gear trends. In earlier video we seen the unit number 2nd, that is toothed wheels or toothed gears. Okay, already we seen the gears and what is the use of gears, types of gears. Again we are seeing the derivations and numericals related to gears. Now today we are going to see the gear trends. Okay, so let's see, we will see the gear trends. First thing is an introduction. What is meant by a gear trends? Sometimes two or more gears are made to mesh with each other to transmit power from one shaft to another. That is what. First thing is that why we use the gears to transfer motion or power from one shaft to another shaft. Here two or more gears are made to mesh. That means here more than two or more gears are used to transfer motion from one shaft to another shaft. That is what the gear train. Such a combination is called gear train or train of toothed wheels. That means suppose in previous one, to transfer motion these two gears are in mesh with each other. Okay, so gear train is nothing but what? More than two or more than two gears are meshed with each other to transfer motion. That means we have to transfer motion from this gear to this gear. Okay, so this is based on the shaft 1, this is what shaft 2, and this is shaft 3. So this is what rotates in clockwise direction, this is what anti-clockwise direction, and this is again clockwise direction. Likewise that. Okay, so this is what such a combination is called toothed wheels or train of toothed wheels or gear train. The nature of train used depends upon the velocity ratio required and the relative position of the axis of shaft. That means the nature of the trains used depends upon the velocity ratio. That means what is the velocity ratio we require. The velocity ratio we require, depending upon the velocity ratio we can adjust the gear train. Otherwise the relative position of axis of shaft, that means the dependent upon the axis of shaft we can make the gear trains, or as per requirement of velocity ratio we can set the gear train. This is what gear train, nature of the gear train. This is based on velocity ratio and relative position of the axis of this shaft. Okay, the gear train may be consist of spur, bevel and spiral gears. This gear train is mostly what consists of spur gears, bevel gears and spiral gears. Okay, so see here, these are the introduction of the gear trend. Okay, now we are going to see the types of gear trends, then which there are the different types of gear trends will be there. So we are going to see the types of gear trends. Okay, so see here, the following are the different types of gear trains depending upon the arrangement of the wheel. Okay, so there are the different types of gear trains. That is, first one is what? Simple gear train. That is what first one is what? Simple gear train. Okay, now next is what? Compound gear train. Third type is what? Reverted gear train. And fourth one is what? Epicyclic gear train. These are the four types of gear trains will be there. Okay, so we will see one by one. Okay, that is what? Simple gear train, compound gear train, reverted and epicyclic gear train. We will see one by one. Okay, so in that one, the first three, that is what? Simple gear train, compound gear train, reverted gear train. These first three types of gear trains, the axis of shaft over which the gears are mounted are fixed relative to each other. That means here what happens? That means axis of shaft over which gears are mounted are fixed. That means our gears are fixed on this axis. Okay, relative to each other. Okay, this is what in the first three, that is what? Simple gear train, compound and reverted. Okay, and the fourth one, that is what? But in case of epicyclic gear trains, the axis of shaft on which the gears are mounted may move relative to fixed axis. That means they will move to relative to the fixed axis. And in this case of first three, that is simple, compound and reverted, the relative their gears are fixed relative to each other. And epicyclic, in the case of epicyclic gear train, they move on the relative to fixed axis. Okay, this is what the difference between these two. Okay, so we are going to see the simple gear train. Okay, so see here, this is what gear train. There are gear in this figure A, figure B and figure C will be there. Okay, so this is what this is what a shaft. Okay, in this shaft the gear, first this driver will be mounted, okay, and this is the driven or follower will be there. Okay, so you see here, this is what a gear 1 and this gear 2. This is what simple gear train. That means on one shaft only one gear will be mounted. Okay, so see here, this is what a simple gear train. That means on this shaft only one this gear will be there, on this shaft only this gear will be there. Okay, no more than two gears will be on one shaft, only on a single shaft single gear will be there. Okay, so this is what this second one. In the second one, this gear 1 will be there, gear 1 will rotate, gives the motion to gear 2. Okay, and this gear 2 will be give the motion to gear number 3 or wheel number 3. Okay, so this is what driver, this last third one will be the driven or follower, and this gear number 2 will be the known as idler gear. Okay, so this is what the idler gear. Okay, now next this figure C. In this figure C, this first will the driver, this second will be move relative to this gear number 1, this third will move relative to gear number 2, and this fourth one, that is what driver or driven, will be the move relative to gear number 3. Okay, so first one is the driver and this fourth one is the driven or follower, and this gear number 2 and 3, these are known as a idler gear. Suppose we have to transfer the motion from this distance may be large. Okay, so this distance may be large, so we have to transfer the motion, so we have to make gears of large size. Okay, so this is what inconvenient, that means to make the gears of this larger size, this may be inconvenient, or it is what complicated to to manufacturing gears of large size. That means what happens here, the structure will be heavy. To eliminate that, we have to transfer likewise that. Okay, so we can make this gear will be there, two simple gears will be there, and this one will be likewise that, to transfer the motion from this to this. That means to transfer motion from this shaft to this shaft, we use these two idler gears of idle gears, and this gear will be smaller, so this structure may not be heavier related to this one. Okay, so this is the because of that we implemented or we use the gear trains. Okay, so see here, when there is only one gear on each shaft, it is known as a simple gear train. These gears are represented by their pitch circles. That means in simple gear train, what happens here, only one gear on each shaft. That means this shaft, in this shaft only one gear will be there, on this shaft only this one gear will be there. That means, and same here, see here, on this shaft only this gear will be there, on this shaft only this gear will be there, on this shaft this gear will be there. That means on single shaft single gear will be there. This is nothing but what a simple gear train. When the distance between two shafts is small, suppose the distance between two shafts is small, the two gears 1 and 2 are made to mesh with each other and transfer motion from one shaft to another shaft as shown in figure A. That means suppose the distance between two shafts is small, then we use the two gears 1 and 2 to mesh with each other to transmit the motion from one shaft to another. That is what's shown in figure 1. Okay, suppose the distance is large, slightly large, since the gear 1 is driver and gear 2 is a driven, therefore the gear 1 is called a driver and gear 2 will be called as a driven or follower. Okay, so it may be noted that the motion of driver gear is opposite to the motion of driving gear. So the motion of this, suppose this gear will be driver and this is what a driven. Okay, so motion, this is what, suppose rotate in clockwise direction, then this must be in rotates in anti-clockwise direction. That means the motion of the driver and driven will be different, or that means opposite. Okay, and let's see here, N1, that is what speed of the gear 1, that is what driver in RPM. N2, that is what speed of gear 2, that is a driven or follower in RPM. So T1, that is what number of teeth on gear 1, and T2, that is what number of teeth on gear 2. So since the speed ratio or velocity ratio of gear train is the ratio of the speed of the driver to the speed of the driven or follower. Okay, that means the velocity ratio or speed ratio, this is given as this is given as the ratio of speed of the driver, that is what speed of driver gear, to the speed of driven or follower, and the ratio of speeds of the pair of gear in mesh is the inverse of their number of teeth. That is what they said the ratio of speeds of pairs of gears in a mesh. That means the this is inverse in the number of teeth. That means the n1 by n2, suppose the gear will be n1 and n2, this will be n1 by n2 is equal to simply t2 by t1. That means the speeds will be inversely proportional to number of teeth. Okay, so see here the speed ratio, that is what speed ratio is given as what, driver divided by driven, that is n1 by n2, and the speed is what, inversely proportional to number of teeth. That means comes here, what comes here, this n1 is what, inversely proportional to t1. Okay, this n2 is what, inversely proportional to t2. So simply what comes here, speed ratio is equal to what, driver divided by driven, speed of driver, that is n1, speed of driven n2, inversely proportional, that is number of 2 divided by number of teeth of 1. Okay, so speed ratio is what, n1 divided by n2 is equal to t2 divided by t1. Okay, it may be noted that ratio of speed of the driver or follower, sorry, it is may be noted that ratio of speed of the driven or follower to the speed of driver is known as a train value of gear train. That's it, what, this is what a speed ratio, that is what, driver divided by driven. And again there will another concept will be there, that is what, train value, and this train value is nothing but what, reciprocal of this speed ratio. That means it is a ratio of speed of the driven gear divided by speed of the driver. So it can mathematically it can be written as train value is equal to what, n2 divided by n1 is equal to t1 divided by t2. That means this train value is what, exactly reciprocal of this speed ratio. Okay, so here is what, driver n1 divided by n2, n1 is what, driver, n2 is what, driven. Okay, so this is what a driver divided by driven, and train value, this is what, driven divided by driver. Okay, so these two terms will be different. Okay, sometimes the distance between two gears is large. Sometimes what happens, the distance between two gears are large. See, like, so this is what, two small gears will be there. Okay, the distance will be like that. Okay, suppose this will be like that. Okay, here is what happens, the distance will be the large. So what, in this case, what we can use. Okay, so see here, the motion from one gear to another gear in such a case may be transmitted by either the following two methods. Okay, sometimes what happens, the distance of between the two gears will be large, the motion from one gear to another, that is what, in case may be transmitted by either using two methods. First method is that by providing large size gears. First thing is that by providing the large sized gears, and second one is what, by providing one or two intermediate gears, that is what, idler gears we already seen. Okay, that is what, intermediate gears. Okay, a later consideration will show that the former method, that is what, providing large size gears, is very inconvenient and uneconomical method. Okay, that is what I already told you, that the little consideration, that is what, providing large size of gear, this is what, very inconvenient and uneconomical. Okay, so whereas the latter method, that is what, later on we find out the method, that is what, providing one or more intermediate gear is very convenient and economical. That means by use the idler gears, or we can say this is what, a small gears, intermediate gears, this is what, a very convenient and economical method. Okay, so we can use this method. Okay, it may be noted that when the number of intermediate gears are odd, the motion of the both gears, that is what, driver and driven, okay, is like as shown in figure B. That means suppose, that means use, we odd number of intermediate gears are used. Suppose, so this is what, driver gear. Okay, okay, this is what, intermediate gear, and this is what, the driven. Okay, this rotates in clockwise direction. Okay, this, so suppose this is what, this will be meshes with this will be anti-clockwise, and this gear 3 will be the with what, clockwise. That means the gear 1 and gear 3 will rotate in same sense. Okay, and here is what, one intermediate gear, this one number is what, odd number. Okay, so that means if we use the odd number of gears, okay, intermediate gears, then the motion of this, or the sense of the rotation of the gear 1 and gear, that is what, driver gear and driven gear, will be same. Okay, suppose this is what, gear number 1. Okay, this rotates in clockwise direction. This is what, gear number 2. Okay, this is what now this is suppose this clockwise, this anti-clockwise. Okay, here gear number 3 will be there, this is what clockwise, and this gear number 4, that is what suppose this what is the driver, this is what again anti-clockwise. That means the driver will be in clockwise and this will be then anti-clockwise. Okay, and here is what gear intermediate gears will be 2, that is what even number. In the case of even number, what happens, the sense of the driver rotation, sense of the rotation of driver and driven will be in opposite direction, because we use the intermediate gears of even number. Okay, so suppose we have to use, here is what odd numbers, then what driver and driver gears rotation sense will be the same. If we use here what even number of intermediate gears, then the sense of rotation of driver and driven will be different. But if the number of intermediate gears are even, the motion of driver or follower will be the opposite direction of the driven, as shown in figure C. Okay, that means we already I explained, or I draw here figure and I will I explained that is what the case number 2. Now consider a single simple gear trainers of one intermediate gear as shown in figure B. So here let N1 is what speed of the driver, that is what in RPM. N2 is equal to what speed of intermediate gear in RPM. Now next is what N3, that is speed of driven or follower in RPM. Okay, now N1, that is what number of teeth on driver, that is what T2 is equal to number of teeth on intermediate gear, and T3 is equal to number of teeth on driver driven or follower. Okay, so see here, since the driving gear 1 is meshed with the intermediate gear 2, therefore the speed ratio of these two gears are, that is what N1 by N2 is equal to T2 by T1. This is what a speed ratio. That means suppose this figure like that, this is the driver gear, intermediate gear will be here, and this is what a driven. Okay, so this is gear number 1, this is what 2, and this is what 3. Okay, now speed ratio between these two, 1 and 2, that is N1 divided by N2 is equal to T2 by T1. Okay, next will be there. Similarly, this is what we can say here, equation number 1. Okay, now similarly intermediate gear 2 is in mesh with the driven gear 3, therefore the speed ratio between these two gears, that is what speed ratio between these two gears. So gear number 1, gear number 2 and gear number 3, this two number will be intermediate. So we can find out here, this is what N2 divided by N3. Okay, so this N2 divided by N3 is equal to what T3 divided by T2. This is what equation number 2. Okay, now see here, the speed ratio of gear train as shown in figure B is obtained by multiplying the equation 1 and 2. That is equation number 1 is what N1 divided by N2 is equal to T2 divided by T1, and equation number 2, that is what N2 divided by N3 is equal to T3 divided by T2. Okay, so we are going to multiply the equation number 1 and 2. So what we get here, N1 divided by N2 into N2 divided by N3 is equal to T2 divided by T1 into T3 divided by T2. Now what some common terms will be there, that means N2 will be here, N2 will be here, T2 will be there, this N2 will cancel here, T2 will be cancel here. So what remains here, N1 divided by N3 is equal to T3 divided by T1. So simply this N1 divided by N3 is equal to T3 divided by T1. This N1 is nothing but what driver gear, speed of the driver gear, and this N3 is equal to what speed of the driven gear is equal to this T3 is nothing but what the number of teeth on the driven gear, and T1 is equal to what number of teeth on the driver gear. Okay, so simply we can see, this is what simply we can state it from this equation, that is what speed ratio, the speed ratio is equal to what speed of the driver divided by speed of driven. The speed of driver divided by speed of driven is equal to, this speed ratio is equal to what in terms of speed and in terms of number of teeth. Okay, the speed ratio is equal to what speed of the driver divided by speed of driven is equal to what number of teeth on the driver driven divided by number of teeth on the driver. That means the speed is what inversely proportional to number of teeth. Okay, so this comes like that. Okay, so similarly we can say here the train value, this train value is what exactly reciprocal of this speed ratio. The train value is equal to what speed of the driven divided by speed of driver is equal to what number of teeth on the driver divided by number of teeth on the driven. This train value is what exactly reciprocal of the speed ratio. Similarly, it can be provided that above equation holds good even if the there are any number of intermediate gears, that means this what equation will be hold good. Okay, if there are number of intermediate gears, the number of gears intermediate gears we can use, then the equation will be the holds very good. Okay, that means this equation will be suitable. From above we can see that the speed ratio and train value in a simple train of gears is independent of size and number of intermediate gears. From the above equation we can stated, or we can say that the train value or speed ratio in a simple gear train is independent. This is what independent, totally independent of size and number of intermediate gears. That means the intermediate gear does not affect on the speed ratio and train value of the this simple gear train. These intermediate gears are called idler gears. Okay, idler or idle gears. Okay, as they do not affect the speed ratio and train value of the system. Okay, the idle gears are used the following two purposes. First purpose is that to connect gears where the large center distance is required. Where the large center distance is required, in that case we have to what manufacturing the large size of gear, and this is what inconvenient or uneconomical. In that case we can choose the idler gears. Okay, that means to connect the gears where large distance is required. And second, that is what to obtain the desired direction of motion of the driven gear, that is what clockwise or anti-clockwise. Suppose we want to we want the motion of this driven, or the sense of the driven gear is clockwise, then we can use this idler gears as per sense. That means we have to suppose we want the sense of the driver and driven will be same, then we can use the intermediate gears, that is what odd size. Okay, suppose we want the driver and driven gear sense, rotation of sense will be the different, then we can opposite, then we can use the even number of idler gears. So this is what the simple gear train, this is what types of what is what gear train. In this video we seen that the gear train, the introduction of gear train, then types of gear train, and again simple gear train. Okay, thanks for watching this video. Subscribe my YouTube channel and click on bell icon, so you will get the more videos related to theory of machine 2. And in this video, in this channel you can see the educational videos, so please stay connected. Thank you.